There seems to be a lot of confusion when it comes to deliverance. Number one, when Jesus was casting out demons, what do y'all think that was? When he was healing, what do y'all think that was? When the people was being set free from certain limitations and oppressions that was set by the systems and the laws of who was teaching those systems in the church, what do y'all think that was? The true definition of deliverance is to be set free, is freedom, is to be removed from some type of oppression. Might I add, Jesus was doing it for free. Deliverance is free. Now, is the venue free? No. Is the church building that they're in? No. Sometimes the things that's needed to do a training, right? Sometimes it's training that you go, that's not for free, right? Because all of that needs some type of money on to be able to facilitate that. I actually went to a training for it because I wanted to see from a more seasoned person what it meant to be to function on a mass capacity of deliverance, and I was super blessed. And coming from me, that came out of a witchcraft church, and the way that they operated in deliverance, I just knew. I was like, the way they doing stuff like this, like, yes, it could call for that, but all the time, I don't know. So a person spending hundreds or thousands of dollars to try to get deliverance, you got to ask yourself, how? How, my friend? How? Where? What's the blueprint for that? The people I know that do that is they're priestess, they're native doctors, they're psychics, they're that healing the false healing counterfeit community that's out there in California. Do you need a minister to help you through deliverance? It depends on your situation. There are people that are going through spiritual stuff. They have gone through some stuff that they have gone in churches, and unfortunately, they didn't get no help. They did go to therapy, and unfortunately, they did not get any help. So depending on the case, yes, they need a minister that is full of the Holy Spirit, that is not a grifter, to be able to assist them. Some things the enemy can lock up in their spirit from them to be released from a cage, especially if it's like a spiritual cage or anything of that sort. But you can also do your own deliverance through denouncing prayers, through prayers of release, right? That is governed by scriptures. But if you don't know where to start, yes, it is good to get guidance from a person that all they're doing is jumpstarting the person, and then that person knows and have the courage and the confidence to continue forth with deliverance. Is deliverance yucking up stuff? It can be, but doesn't mean that you have to do that. No, some people it's cries, some people it's a fart, some people it's a belch, some people it's vomit, some people it's a scream, some people it's just they're in a fetal position and they're just shaking back and forth. Some people it's nothing. Some people it's the surrender of their hands. There's many ministers that do it for free. Sometimes they do it on a mass scale, and sometimes they do it one-on-one. But I want to caution you, the ones that are doing it on the one-on-ones, you just have to be mindful of who it is that's so-called doing it, number one, and two, be mindful of their time. And number three, they have all rights to tell a person no. All rights. Why is this thing such a big thing? Because the American church have ignored the spiritual components of Jesus' ministry. They love to preach about Jesus, but did y'all forget Jesus was casting out demons, healing the sick, setting people free? Not only from systems of the world, but also the yoke and the burden that these people placed that came from the religious sect. So I just want to caution you the next time you go to a spiritual retreat where they say they're going to do deliverance, or you're going to a person and they're charging hundreds of thousands of dollars for deliverance. Where they do that at? Where Jesus did that? in honor of freedom today, I want you to know that his priority for you was to obtain freedom. Freedom in your mind, freedom in your soul, freedom in your spirit. He wanted you to live an abundant life. Now, abundant life does not mean that you don't go through long suffering. It does not mean that you don't go through stuff. However, he gives you the power and he gives you the freedom to know that he is with you. Be blessed.